What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Mike, it's been forever. It feels like I haven't seen you in months.
Hey, man, I've been on a voyage. A space voyage.
Space voyage. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
If
It's very interesting, man.
if you haven't noticed, he's kind of the poet here. He always has to get deep and metaphorical.
Oh, that's all right. I'll start rhyming just out of random, and it'll be like, I'm a poet, and I don't even know it.
Oh, shit. I didn't even see that coming.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good. How are you? Happy to be here.
I'm glad you're happy to be here.
That's what's up.
I'm making the most out of life. How have you been since college?
Oh, I've been good. I've had graduated with finance, got my first job, and now I'm working on my MBA still at night. So very busy, but
So
good to keep busy.
You've had a busy summer?
Yes, I've had a very busy summer.
Okay.
A lot of working.
Okay, cool.
Oh, man, I salute that, man.
Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us once again for another episode of Sports from All Angles. We know we've had a hiatus, but we promise from here on out this will be a weekly show. And today, for the 7th episode, we want to talk about the whole McGregor-Mayweather fight, and then we're going to go off into the start of the college football season. And I don't know about you guys, I completely prefer college over the NFL.
Same here, man.
I tend to prefer the NFL, but I like college football.
Okay, so we're going to get into that, but first off, like always, Francis Mondrala. To my right, we have...
MIC, what's up?
And then our first-time guest to my left is...
My name's Nick Jones.
Nick Jones. Okay, so, Nick, how did you... First off, how entertaining was the fight? And then give us some feedback about how you feel it went down, and if you can, how do you feel differently or the same about the two fighters afterwards?
Well, I thought the fight was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be, because you have a UFC fighter coming in to take on a boxer that's 49-0 over his entire career. I mean, that's like 15 years of fights or so.
Yeah.
And he hasn't lost a single fight, and then you got a UFC guy coming in saying, I can knock you out within the first 2 rounds. So I'm thinking Floyd might embarrass him, or this might be a very entertaining fight.
Or I was thinking it's going to be very boring just because of how Mayweather is such a defensive fighter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, McGregor came out swinging. He came out with so much energy, and I mean, he didn't land very much in the beginning, but he got a couple good uppercuts in there. But
to say nothing of the 9th round in the beginning where he did get a good hit in.
right.
Okay, I want to go off of the fact that you said it was much more entertaining. I completely agree, just for the simple fact, if Mayweather and Pacquiao was such a boring fight,
Right.
I thought this fight had no shot.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Especially for how this was going to make more money. And supposedly the pay-per-view brought in between 400 and 500 million, which is insane.
That's a lot of money.
That is very insane. I mean, I think it's pretty much because of the controversy of an MMA fighter
Going into boxing. And then also it probably helped that their pre-interview fights and stuff, like the promotion was so controversial and stuff with the racism and all and everything going on. But just to put some stats out there, Mayweather guaranteed $100 million, and it's probably going to be closer to $300-400. And then McGregor bare minimum $30 million, and it could go as high as $100 million. And just so people, I don't want people to think he's going to be that quick to go back into the UFC, since he's never made more than 15-20 million in one fight, and he's going to get closer to 100. So, just want to point that out there. But, okay, Nick, how do you view these two fighters differently, or what's your opinion about them afterwards?
Afterwards, I have a lot more respect for McGregor in the boxing world, because of how he was able to take on Floyd, and he lasted, I can't remember, how many rounds? Was it 9 or 10 rounds?
10.
He lasted 10 rounds with the best fighter in the entire world in that particular weight class. Having had no professional boxing experience at all, I really thought he might have come out swinging, come out trying to do like a kick or something if he didn't get his way. Or
no, a lot of people
were
they'd rather him go out being a UFC fighter than getting his
Right.
butt whooped, you know?
Right, yeah, and there were a couple instances where it seemed like when he was trying to hug him, he was like hitting him on the top of the head, and I know you can't do that.
Yeah.
I was cringing to myself, like, oh, he's gonna get thrown out of this fight, and I'm gonna have like spent all this time waiting for nothing.
Just two things. Well, the first thing I want to point out, don't forget Mayweather is 40. Mm-hmm. So it's not like McGregor was facing Mayweather in his prime when he was young to mid-30s when he was nobody could hit him.
Right.
Secondly, Mayweather during the fight was very out of character. He was going a lot more offensive than he used to. So I want to ask you the question. Do you think, if it is possible, he kind of let his guard down just a tad so the fight would be entertaining? So he could go out his last fight?
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, because when you think about it, Mayweather has never been... well, ever since he's been the pay-per-view fighter, he's never been that offensive.
Right.
So it would make some sense that... I know it's a what if, but when you think about that, that's probably why it was as entertaining. Because he says, you know what, I'm going to let him get a couple extra shots, and I'm going to be more offensive. And he did technically get the TKO, which is not a true knockout. But,
Right.
But it's still like, when was the last time he had a TKO of any kind? You know?
Exactly.
So,
Wow.
it makes you... I know it's like, why would a boxer ever do that? But when you consider... He's so confident in himself. He still knows he's going to win. Why not? Since this is going to be his last fight, why not go out with a somewhat competitive fight? You know? So.
Oh, yeah, you can kind of see that with how much money they were making, too. If this thing lasts 2 rounds and everybody paid $100 per pay-per-view, there's going to be a lot of complaining.
Unless it was McGregor knocking Floyd out. Then I think everybody would have said, oh, I'm absolutely fine with that,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, maybe maybe he noticed the things that went wrong in the Pacquiao fight, and maybe he was a little more risky because people, felt as though that it was pretty much a waste of time.
No, I agree, but also you have to remember Pacquiao is a legit boxer. He at one point in time, people believed Pacquiao was better than Mayweather,
Right,
and. So that's why Mayweather wasn't taking any chances, because Pacquiao, if he did lay one punch, he has the speed to go with the power where it would be a dangerous situation. Where with McGregor, even though the 9th round, I can't say who would have won if the referee did not break up the fight.
Right, exactly.
You know? So I don't want to say McGregor would have definitely won, but would I mean, I don't want to say McGregor would have won, but would Mayweather have won in 10 rounds the way he did?
Right.
Who knows, you know?
Right.
I hate when it's a deciding factor like that or something, but you always find that in some competitive realm, you know what I mean?
You find that in any and every sport, you know? Like for football, a flag goes... You haven't been calling a play the entire game, and then all of a sudden you call a flag. So, or like basketball, you know how...
I was thinking about Ray Allen, foot on the line.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Let's not bring that up.
No, we won't bring that one up.
Okay, so how do you feel about Mayweather? Because you have much more respect.
Yeah.
Did you know about McGregor before this?
I knew McGregor as a UFC fighter, and I knew that he had some background in boxing as like a teenager / like when he was very young. But I didn't think he had any real boxing experience, and I really didn't think it was going to be very entertaining, but it really was. And I honestly was kind of hoping for McGregor to get a knockout at first for entertainment factor.
Yeah, and just because ever since Mayweather became the pay-per-view fighter he is, the reason why people have been spending so much money is due to the fact they want him to lose.
Exactly.
Because he can't brag about being undefeated and all that stuff. Okay, but going back, how do you feel about Mayweather after this?
Well, I have a little bit more respect for him because he was I haven't watched boxing very much before then, so just to see him work like that, like in the first couple rounds, it looked like McGregor was winning, but he wasn't landing very many punches. So it seemed like Floyd was kind of gaining a strategy on what to do. So then when it came to round 6, 7, later rounds, that's when he started winning because he knew exactly what McGregor was going to do. And he took advantage of it.
And the whole stamina factor, too.
Yeah, because McGregor would come out with way too much energy and then just be dead the last minute.
But because he's also used to the UFC style where the longest he ever went in a match was 25 minutes.
Right.
And he ended up going, what was it, nearly 30 for this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so a lot of it was stamina.
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
And people don't realize it's just, I would say mixed martial arts is the more difficult sport to consistently go in and out because of how physical it is. Mm-hmm. But boxing still is the art. Just because it's, because you just, it's just, I don't know. Because think about it like this, UFC, you can lose and win without knocking somebody out or without taking so many blows to the head because of the whole grappling and stuff. Right. But boxing is consistently it's the upper body.
It's footwork, hands.
Yeah.
Whereas UFC is everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I agree with that.
Okay, so Mike, how do you feel about the two? Because I remember talking before, you didn't even know who McGregor was.
Yeah, I didn't know who McGregor was. This pretty much put me on to who he was. I respect him for the fact that he actually went through with this fight.
Okay.
And he lasted pretty long for what was projected.
Yeah.
I mean, like y'all said, he only usually does like 25 minutes.
That's the longest, but the average is more so like 15. Mm-hmm. So he easily doubled that.
Right. So yeah, you gotta respect somebody pushing it. As far as Mayweather, I've never liked Mayweather. He is very cocky, arrogant. I can understand because of what he brings to the table.
Just quick thing. Do you honestly think he's cocky, or do you think that at least part of...
I think that's just part of his boxing personality.
Yes. Okay, yeah, okay. I agree, bro.
You know, be able to sell seats and, you know, be controversial or whatever.
You always make more money as the villain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got people that might love to watch you, but more so you have people who love, you know, to hate you while you watch.
Yeah.
And trying to see that downfall.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm one of those people when I watch.
But most people forget Muhammad Ali, the first part of his career, he was the same as Mayweather. He played the villain. Yeah. It wasn't until the whole Muslim situation, and then he came back where he became the good guy. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like to compare Mayweather to the Patriots in some sort of way. They're so good, and everybody hates them, but everybody loves to hate them.
Yeah. But to use our name, that's very Rhinos and Aliens because from what we know, Mayweather doesn't cheat. So
yeah, so I didn't factor that in.
But I will say that comparison is good because Mayweather, just like the Patriots, do get the referees on their side. Yeah. So
yeah, they do.
I have to throw my jabs. Screw you, Patriots fans.
That's fine. If you're gonna throw jabs at anybody, let it be New England.
Yeah. Well, as you're gonna see in the future week or so. He's a big Bills fan, so that's why he has a true hatred, for the Patriots.
Yes.
Now, I think this is a good segue to go into football, except not the NFL. We're gonna go into college football. Mm-hmm. I know for some reason you prefer the NFL. That's okay. Yeah. You're the oddball out.
Thank you.
But me and Michael, we've always had a passion for college football. If James was here, he's a big USC fan, so. Starting Thursday or the past Thursday, it was the beginning of college football season where Ohio State started. Then there's some games on Friday, the previous Friday, and last weekend was the major set. So I just wanted to go through some of the scores, like the obvious blowouts, some interesting scores, and I also want to point out how for some reason Florida just cannot beat Michigan. Going into the game, they were 0-3 in the history. Now they're 0-4. Screw you, Michigan.
Yeah.
And Texas. What is going on with the Longhorns? Like, no matter what they do, new coach, a good coach, a different style coach. They just can't win opening games, and this might be a long season. So, Mike, where do you want to start? If you want to start anywhere.
Man, it was a lot of blowouts. I kind of want to start with some of those.
Yeah,
man.
point out some of the blowouts, which I want to say is expected since most of week 1 and week 2 is getting the rust off.
Conditioner, yeah.
Yes, yeah, because there's no preseason in the college football, so.
I mean, Wisconsin and Utah.
59-10, right?
Yeah.
Which you did not know, they were actually down by 10 points, and they scored 59 unanswered.
Wow. It's like somebody smacked him in the face to just wake up. Or
No matter what team you're going against, that's impressive.
yeah, that's very impressive.
That's impressive.
That is. Akron and Penn State, 52-0.
Which is impressive because Penn State has been... Okay, last year they had a good season. Their coach is from Vanderbilt, where they always overachieved with Frank something. But last year they had a great season, and this year that should not be surprising. 52-0, so they might actually have a legit shot at the national title game. So
Okay.
yeah, because you know that whole Joe Paterno thing that really put them in a slump, and then the coach for the Houston Texans got them out of that slump.
yeah.
But they weren't able to do anything, and then once he left for the job in Houston, then that's when Frank, I can't think of his last name, but he came from Vanderbilt, came in, and they've been doing real things. Where last year, if I'm correct, they actually won their division in the conference. So
Okay, impressive. Yeah.
yeah.
We got Clemson and Kent State, 56-3.
Which should be expected just because Kent State is such a small football school.
Well, I want to know one thing about that one. When did they decide to go for 3? Were they losing by 30 already and be like, kick a field goal? No, just go for it.
It must have been in the beginning because they thought they had a shot. Because if they
Yeah.
were losing by 30 plus points, you would
Then,
just say,
yeah, just
screw it,
screw it,
go
go
for
for
the
it.
touchdown. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Maryland and Texas, 51-41.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I'm glad you pointed that out. Continue.
Miami, Florida, and BCU,
Oh,
41-13.
Miami won, right?
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Miami Hurricanes fan just because I grew up in that area. My mom was a big fan.
Yeah.
She actually came up during the time of what the Hurricanes are known for, the 80s and the 90s when they were that dynasty.
Yeah.
So
That's what's up. Yeah.
I kind of like, not subconsciously, I just remember games being on, and she still has a Hurricane jacket, so that's cool. That's good because they've had a rough 2000s, man.
Yeah. Oklahoma and UTEP.
Oh, Oklahoma dusted them too, right?
Yeah.
Yep, 56-7.
At least they got a touchdown.
Yeah.
Michigan 33, Florida 17.
Okay, so let's stop right here. I just want to point this out because the first quarter, Michigan had a 10-3 lead. And I'm like, fuck. Excuse my language. I'm like, it's looking bad, right? And then the weirdest thing happened. On back-to-back drives, it might have been back-to-back plays. The Florida Gators get a interception, return it for a touchdown. So just like that, they have a 17-10 lead. And then they partially block a punt on Michigan's next drive. So 3 straight drives. Interception, return for a touchdown, interception, return for a touchdown. And then they block a punt. So right now, I'm like, yo, they're about to go up at least 20-10, if not 24-10. We so got this. Mm-hmm. The drive stalled. They missed the field goal, and it was legit downhill ever since.
Momentum turned.
Yeah, 33-17, and it's just like they scored 23 unanswered points, and it's like, screw you, John Harbaugh. You had to go to Michigan.
Correction there, Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, yes, my bad.
That's all right.
John is Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I respect you, John. Jim, go do something with your life.
Man.
What was the USC score?
49-31 against Western.
Yeah, their defense was not. Yeah, that's Western Michigan. But Western Michigan actually was, if I'm correct, they were 12-1 last year or 13-1. So
very great.
And watch out for USC's quarterback.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you think of Sam Darnold?
Okay, that's his,
Yeah.
you always have to be iffy with USC quarterbacks because they could turn out like Carson Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
Or they could turn out like Matt Leinart.
Right. Yeah, Matt Leinart.
Because USC has always been loaded on offense. And don't forget about what's Barkley?
Oh, yeah, Matt Barkley.
Yeah, Matt Barkley.
Nobody even knows where he is anymore, really.
Isn't he still in Philly?
I think he got cut this week. I don't remember from where, but
he was posting. I think he broke the freshman record when Lane Kiffin was coaching.
Right.
So always be iffy on USC quarterbacks. With that being said, he came in last year. He wasn't the starter, and he broke the record for. He broke basically every Pac-12 freshman record. So he could be a stud.
Yeah.
It's just the whole USC thing, as they've been so up and down with quarterbacks. I don't know, because they were saying the same thing about Matt Leinart.
Right.
So now to on their defense, Matt Barkley, people knew just because of his height and stuff
that he wasn't going to be that great. Yeah.
But
not to turn it to the Bills' standpoint, but I don't know if I'd want them to trade up and draft him if there's a chance where he might, if it's going to be very iffy.
I'm glad you brought that up. We're going to highlight this next week as because the preseason is officially over, and when we record the episode, week 1 will be over. But I still can't get over, they traded up, gave up all those picks for Sammy Watkins, and not only do they trade him, but they gave up the UB stud who's now playing for Oakland. Are you kidding me? Bills, get your crap together.
They had him practicing in their own field house.
Yes.
They couldn't scout him.
Yes. They wanted the flashy freaking pick instead of going with the smart pick. And who's laughing now?
Oakland.
Not you guys. Oh, but to get back on point, are there any more games you want to bring up? Because there's one game you completely missed.
What was it?
The Alabama-Florida State.
I think that was the next one, too. Oh, no, it wasn't.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one.
A dominant.
Yeah. Number 3 versus number 1.
Yeah. Louisville barely beat Purdue, which is going back to their problems of last year. But, okay, let's first talk about Alabama and Florida State. This was, I don't know how Nick Saban does it. Year in and year out, he's playing a top team most of the time on opening day, and they dominantly win. 24-7 against the number 3 team with all the potential that Florida State has.
He's got a knack for college coaching.
You know what it is, too? People think that Alabama's dangerous after they win a national championship. They're actually their most dangerous when they lose.
Right.
Because the first year of the college football season, college playoffs, they lost to Ohio State in pretty embarrassing fashion.
Yep.
And then next year, they go 14-0, win the national championship. This year, everybody said they had the best defense. They were leading by double digits most of the game against Clemson. They had a 10-point lead going in the fourth quarter, and they give it up. And what's the number one thing? What happened to Alabama's great defense? So Nick Saban, he's on a mission.
Yeah.
He's on a mission. So I would be more so shocked if they don't win, especially if their defense comes together.
Oh,
of
course.
The way they open like this. But not to... And then, okay, let's get back to Texas. Mike, can you... How do you feel about the Texas Longhorns? What do you... Because the thing I think about most is Mac Brown, the consistency. They somehow beat USC with Vince Young when they were going for 3 straight. That's the thing that sticks out to me the most. They're one of the 5 most winning... They have one of the 5 most wins in college football history. They have over 850 something, if not 900 by now.
It's that football pride, man.
Yo, Texas pride. It's football or nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though they actually have good basketball teams and good baseball teams, but
yeah, they do. But that's football country out there.
Yeah,
that really is.
They don't play. But I actually want to go into some of their records over the past couple seasons, and I want because normally during the Mac Brown era, they average over 10 wins per season, especially when they had Vince Young and McCoy, which are 2 of the best college football teams of all time. And the past couple seasons has been really rough. So I just want to go through some of these stats. Okay. So from 1998 all the way to 2009. So over 10 years, they won at least 9 games and averaged 12.
That's pretty dominant.
Including going 13-0 when they beat USC for the national championship, right? Now, starting in 2010, they have not had a season with more than 9 wins. So they went 11 years with at least 9 wins. And they've gone ever since 2010. So the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years, no more than 9.
Wow.
1, 2, 3 seasons, they've only won 5. 3 of the past 7, they've only won 5 games. 4 of the past 7, they've lost at least. 4 of the 7, they've lost 7 games. For Texas Longhorns.
What happened that would cause that to flip the switch back in 2010?
Right.
Many people they missed out on key quarterbacks because during their dominance they were getting top quarterbacks. And when they went 13-0, they had Vince Young. They had McCoy.
Yeah.
And then these years they supposedly passed up Johnny Manziel.
Oh yeah.
They supposedly passed up another Texas A&M quarterback. So it's just that's
really a big difference.
Dude, that's just terrible.
I don't see how, man. Even though you just explained,
you still can't believe
part
it, right?
of it. Yeah, I just can't.
And you know what's so funny? Like you could say, "Oh, the change of coaches." What about Oklahoma? They changed coaches, and they changed coaches this season, and they still bust. They bust some butt. You know what I'm saying? And you can't beat a team at home.
Maybe it's a curse.
Yeah. So. By the way, because everybody knows by now, or you will know, I gotta talk about my tennis. It's the U.S. Open. It's the U.S. Open. I didn't want to let you guys know because I wanted to bring that up, but man, Serena Williams had her first kid, so hopefully she's back for the Australian Open. She needs to break those records. But what's so funny about that, bro? We have no time for kids out here when it comes to sports.
Give her rest.
Okay, but for the U.S. Open, I need to stop saying but for the U.S. Open, 3 of the top 5 men seeds dropped out: Wawrinka, Djokovic, and Murray, all because of injuries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Murray was a hip injury, Djokovic was an elbow injury, and then Wawrinka is a knee, I believe. So basically, it's Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer and everybody else. And I would say,
well, he's not wrong.
I would say Cilic, because he did his only major is a U.S. Open, but he lost in the 3rd round. So we don't have to worry about him. So I just want to point out, Venus Williams at 37 years old continues to freaking win. And just for her age alone, it's just go girl.
It's like Floyd, right?
Yeah, but even more impressive because she's had injuries. She has this disease that she's been working with. So it's just... And, if it wasn't for Serena Williams, she would probably have at least 15 Grand Slams by now. Because all of her finals losses, besides 2, came to her sister.
Serena,
Yeah, so that's...
Dealing with a disease. Okay, I'm in the dark here. What's going on?
I can't think of... I can't think of the disease, and even if I could, I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. But it's a disease that for a good year really fucked up how she could play, and she really took a major dip. It has something to do. It's a chronic disease or something like that. So.
Oh, okay.
But now she's better than ever, and she still has it, and it just combined the disease with her age, and it's just how could you not respect that? And she's always been a class act. She's always been in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping Roger Federer wins his 20th total, his 6th U.S. Open, but he does have to worry about Rafa Nadal if he gets to the semifinals.
Yes, he does.
That'll be a big match.
Yeah, and he has been playing a little shaky the first 2 rounds. Even though his 3rd round match was a breeze, he is getting up there in age, so you do have to worry if that's ever going to catch up to him. But I just wanted to talk about tennis because it doesn't get enough love. It doesn't get enough respect.
I know.
That's ironic you said love.
Oh, you fool. But if you guys want to say anything else, this is the time. If not, we can end it here.
Not all this college football talk makes me want to go outside and toss the pigskin.
I agree.
The pigskin. I love that word.
Me too, man, because it also reminds me of bacon.
Oh, it's got a double meaning there. I like that.
Yeah,
Bacon's
and
so
football,
good.
man. Bacon and football.
Okay, so thank you guys, like always, for joining us for yet another week of Sports from All Angles. This is the 7th episode, and we hope to see you next week for the 8th. Next week, just so you guys know, we will be talking about the Bills, how they've done in the preseason, how they will do in their first week, and how do we feel about all their moves. So it's just gonna be a big Buffalo Bills section for all you non-Buffalo fans, even though we don't have any right now. That's what we're gonna be talking about. And if Jordan was here, he would say we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and I'm not gonna say that MySpace bullcrap.
Like, comment,
MySpace.
subscribe.
Yeah.
What is this, 2003?
As far as MySpace, though, don't fully count that out, okay?
If you say so.
I'm speaking on behalf of me and Jordan.
But okay, I guess we're divided yet again. But yo, isn't that you and Jordan always team up for some freaking reason?
That's because like minds just happen to mesh, man.
Okay, but yeah, if you did like this episode, we do appreciate that. Does help. Always leave comments because we do need the feedback. If you think we can improve on something, just let us know. And yeah, if you want us to talk about any sports topics, we do have a long list. We're just slowly building up to that. But if you have number one thing, like make a history about like the Yankees dynasty or something to that degree, or look into the MVP season of some player, yo, let us know. So we might do that episode before we normally would have. So
definitely let us know about that.
I just want to say thank you, Nick, for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Right,
you
thank
added
you,
a lot of good insights.
Great to be here.
I'm glad you actually are a fan or you know stuff about tennis. So that's a little passion project. But thank you like always, and we hope to see you next week. So peace out, everybody.
Thank you.
Peace.
So if you want to subscribe, just hit this bad boy up here, that big fat rhino. If you want the newest video, to the right. If you want the recommended, to the left. And then, of course, our personal dick pic. Yep, right below. So thank you for joining us once again, and we hope to see you next week. So peace out.
Peace.